My name is Francisca Marabu. I work at National Taxpayers Association. Today we have had a civil society organization training on matters related to budget and advocacy process in Kenya. And this training has been organized by NTA in collaboration with International Budget Partnership and Mzalendo Trust under the Cspen, that is the Civil Society Parliamentary Engagement Network. This particular training was very important to the civil society organization, as we are all aware that the new government will be coming in come August after the general elections, and therefore this training was just to prepare the civil society organization to be able to engage with the government, especially at the subnational level, on matters related to budget making processes. So we believe that this training, which we have begun today, will be of very much help to the civil society organization, especially those who are undertaking matters related or implementing programs related to the budgets. And we know most of the things that are being undertaken by the civil society organization are tied to the budget making process, and therefore this training was just to prepare them in advance so that they're able to engage the local leaders at the subnational level and also at the national level on matters related to the budget making process.
My name is Caroline Giathi. I work with Transparency International Kenya as the Deputy Programs Officer for Communications. This meeting was actually very, very eye-opening. We've realized as CSOs there's so much that we need to do in terms of budget analysis and advocacy efforts, actually combining our advocacy efforts amongst the CSOs and other grassroots organizations to educate the communities at large in terms of how budget is usually done, the budget process, the expenditure process, as well as the reports being done. Something else I've noted is on a few gaps here and there, especially on some information that is missing, and how we can spread this kind of information basically so that we can ensure that we have achieved our goal of transparency and accountability in our country. Thank you.
My name is Eve Madhai. I'm a budget coordinator coordinating the Nairobi Eastern and Central Regional Hub. I work for an organization known as Slums Information Development and Resource Centers, which is a Kenyan-based NGO, and also running two governance initiatives, that is KE Budget Talk, which is a budget analysis and advocacy platform, and also Follow the Money, which basically tracks expenditure of public funds. So I also work very closely with IBP. In this capacity, I came as a facilitator to talk about the planning and the budgeting process. And I think it's very important for CSOs to be part of this process, to be very aware of the budget process, because in their own capacity, they're advocating for a myriad of priorities and sectors. So for them to be able to take a proactive approach, that is from the planning stage, and not just campaigning for additional resources, but also taking part in the planning part of it, which is through the county integrated development plans and also the annual development plans. So it's important for all sector experts to be aware of the different stages and what happens during, for instance, the formulation stage, because during public participation, it is important to know what is happening and who is in charge of it. Because let's say if it's the formulation discussion where ADP is being discussed, we will not talk about subsequent allocations. We need to know what comes before the other. So we need to first go through the public participation for the annual development plan, and then subsequently, the budget estimates should speak to the annual development plan. So if we are not aware of the different stages, we will not be able to interact with the different stages in a meaningful manner. So collaboratively as CSOs, those who are experts in, let's say for the health sector, can collaborate with other sector experts towards giving recommendations for the budget estimates as a collective. So knowing how the planning takes place, how the allocations take place, and also how to teach communities on how to make or relay their priorities and needs in a meaningful manner, and keeping in mind that resources are very scarce. We also need to know where the money is coming from. We cannot just make the demands without being aware of how revenues or counties are generating their revenue. So that's also a different and important conversation if we're going to take a proactive approach. So all in all, I've really enjoyed the engagement. We're looking forward to developing what next kind of action plan as the Cspen network and also the budget facilitators. And I also want to mention that budget facilitators are spread out across the country. So if any organization that is part of Cspen that is outside Nairobi, they can also work collaboratively with coordinators in the Lake region, in the Rift region, the Coastal region, and the Nairobi Eastern and Central region. So thank you so much.
My name is Benedictus Rono from National Democratic Institute. I would like to thank the National Taxpayers Association and the International Budget Partnership for taking us through a very important session on budget analysis and public participation in the process. The training has been quite useful and will be instrumental in the implementation of my program, which is trying to promote financial transparency and accountability at the county level. So today we've been taken through the various stages of the budget process and public participation process and how we can plug into the process. I believe that the training will help us in our work at the county level to promote citizen participation in this very important decision-making process, and to have more of them holding their leaders and duty bearers to account.